I need to speak to the stalkers for a minute because I've already addressed numerous videos to people who are having to deal with a difficult mate or difficult former mate. I've already addressed those. You can go through the channel list and check it out. If it's not here on YouTube, it'll be on my IG page. But I just want to talk to the stalkers for a minute, and I hope that you are listening. Some of you are so far gone mentally, you probably won't. But some of you are just nosy as I don't know what, so you're going to check into this video anyway. My message to you is this. I don't know where in your program when you were coming up, where you thought it was A, treat people all kinds of ways and you don't even know where they came from, and B, not taking no for an answer when somebody says no. There are problems in both of those things. See, I come from a generation where you were taught to give a certain amount of respect to people. One of the biggest lessons that I was taught and had to enforce, or else I was going to be in trouble with my parents, is that you respect people because you don't know where they came from and you don't know where their headspace is. If you're not super close to that person, you don't sit there and just assume that you can just approach them any kind of way. You can't use any sort of tone of voice with them, especially with strangers, because you don't know where their headspace is. You don't know what kind of day they've had or anything. Now, I can safely say, and I mean anybody who's a first responder or a law enforcement professional or works in the judicial system, I'm sure you will agree with me when I say this. A lot of domestic disturbances, a lot of violent acts that are occurred between strangers is because somebody disrespected somebody else. They invaded their space. They said something they had no business saying, something. And it escalated into a confrontation, and someone either got injured or lost their life. And it all started because one of the parties took it upon themselves to disrespect somebody they don't even know. They took a gamble and lost. So now they're either in jail, in the hospital, or in the grave. It doesn't matter if it's financial, educational, spiritual, romantic, whatever. You decided to take your Billy Badass in there growling like a hungry bear into somebody's mental space, into somebody's physical space that you hardly know, not expecting any consequences. And that person showed you where they were coming from, and they made you realize that they were bigger and badder than you. Okay? Now the second thing, this business of not taking no for an answer, I know the catchphrase is out there, but it doesn't apply to people. When a person tells you, no, I don't want to be bothered. When they tell you, no, don't call me. When they tell you, no, I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. And no, I don't want you to see me. I don't want you anymore. When they say, I don't want you, that is your cue to get the fuck out of there. And there are some of you in your mind, you think it's funny when people tell you stuff like that. It turns you on for some of them, some of you. And I'm sorry, this is not normal behavior. It's not. You need to go see a therapist. Quick. Because if you don't curtail that behavior, again, you're going to wind up behind bars in the hospital or in the grave because you are sitting up there taking advantage of a person's kindness for weakness. You're misreading signals because your wiring's all messed up. And you decide that you are not going to listen to this person. Some people like me, we take no very seriously. When I tell your ass, no, leave me alone, I mean leave me alone, because if you don't, you're going to have the men in blue coming to your door. Men and women in blue coming to your door. Or you might have a relative of mine that does not appreciate what you're dealing with show up at your house. You might wind up losing your job. Don't let me find out where you work. You might wind up having paper served to you. Just because I told you no and to leave me alone and you decided not to because you thought it was cute, you thought it was sexy. First of all, that's clearly stating that you don't respect me. So you're going to turn around and try to pursue a relationship where you clearly don't respect me? Again, you need to go see somebody because that is mental illness. It's not just a personality flaw, people. And for you people out in this world to think, oh, well, these stalkers, they just have abandonment issues. First of all, don't even play armchair when somebody starts acting like that. Don't try to analyze why. Don't try to go into their troubled history and all that shit because it doesn't matter because they're going to continue to give you hell. So don't waste your time trying to play armchair as to why they're stalking you. It's a crime and it is punishable by law or death, one of the two. And usually in the cases of death, I've heard this over and over again, sometimes the law either doesn't take it seriously or you were dumb enough to keep taking this person back, and eventually that last conversation was the last conversation between the two of you because one of you have had enough and decided to take the other one out and said, you know what, I'm going to shut you up forever. I'm so done. Am I saying that you should do this? No, because it shouldn't come to that. And for those of you playing this little back and forth game with each other, you think it's cute because it's between the two of you, but you don't know what the other person's thinking each time that you break up and get back together again. You don't know what their motive is. But you're so full of yourself, you're thinking to yourself, oh, that person's crazy about me. That's how come they can't live without me. We just need to take a break every now and then. But it's always a nasty break. You're so full of yourself, you think that's what it is. But you don't know that person's getting back with you because they probably have revenge on their minds. They have a plan for you. They plan to take you out. But you don't have sense enough to see that. So those of you who are in these messed up mindsets, messed up scenarios that I've told you about, you need to go see somebody quick because your life depends on it. And I'm not saying this to be dramatic. I see it and hear it on the news every day, all the time, and I'm not the only one. Estranged wife dead. Estranged husband missing. Ex-girlfriend in jail for stalking. Ex-boyfriend in jail for murder. You an ex. You yesterday's news. What the hell you doing in somebody's life that doesn't want you? You are yesterday's news and you need to sit down and accept that and move on. But if you can't in your mind, then you need to go get some help to help you deal with that. Because all you're going to do is go from relationship to relationship to relationship with the same mentality, and you're going to come across a real badass one day who does not take that stuff lightly, and they are going to take you out. I'm sorry, this steps on some toes, but there are some of you that actually have this mentality where you could just go after anybody you want and not give any care as to their rejection of you. None of us like to be rejected, but it's a part of life. We can't get everything that we want all the time. That person might have just been in your life to teach you a lesson, not to stay forever. But of course, you're not listening to me because all you're thinking about is stalking the ex-girlfriend who told you no 3 years ago, has moved on 3 years ago, but you decided that every month you're going to send texts and calls from funny numbers and whatnot and hoping that she'll pick up the phone so you can feel good that day. Where do they do that at? That's not mature, rational behavior at all. You need to go see a psychiatrist. Get on some medication. Do extensive therapy, whatever it is you need to do. Because if you don't, this might be the only opportunity for you to get some help. And if you don't, the next time you do it is going to be the last time you breathe. Because that so-called person that you thought was nice, and you kept ignoring their nose, you're either going to be picked up by the men and women in blue, or you're going to get locked up, or you're going to get carried out. Pick one. Keep acting up like that. Where do you want to go? Jail, hospital, or graveyard? Because you're going to see a different side of that person. That person that you fabricated in your mind that was going to be part of your life that don't want you anymore. Okay. Keep inserting yourself in your life and lives of people who do not want you. Keep doing it. Your life is going to get cut short, I'm telling you. If they don't do it, maybe their new partner will handle you. How would you like that? Maybe their new husband or wife, who knows about the whole situation, is just waiting for you to make one more phone call. Waiting for you to randomly show up. They're waiting. And they don't care. I know if it was me and I had a partner and somebody was stalking me, I'd be like, babe, handle it. Because see, I know they don't give a damn about you. And how they handle it is how they handle it. I ain't got nothing to say about it. Because you brought this on yourself. So get some help. This might be the only chance to save your own life. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. Peace to you all.